I still can't get over that.
Speaking of the big main event, it wasn't a pay-per-view tonight, but we had Ricky Starks versus MJF for the Triple B, his big Burberry belts. But before we ever got to the main event, they each had their own little video backstage promo throughout the night. The general thought on MJF's when he did it, we were kind of in the same boat on this one. The dude gave like a 10 to 15 minute in-ring promo and about 4 to 5 minutes of a backstage one, in which those usually only go a minute or two.
Yeah, like normally he has a little bit more time to let his words breathe, and he seemed like he kind of sped through this. He had a few good lines in here, but yeah, he sped through it. He was started off with, "Oh yeah, Ricky, everyone's saying you're a star being born. I'm already a star. I'm so great. I'm a star maker. I made you. You're being made a star because of me."
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, but yeah, he had some good lines in there. But yeah, it was just he had to deliver it too quick because it was just a backstage thing, and it still ended up being a really long backstage segment.
Because Ricky got his opportunity later in the night, and I don't know how close they were in terms of overall time, but it feels like in terms of actual content, like MJF might have spit out double the amount of words.
Oh yeah, easily double.
Because MJF's that guy. He's the one that everybody already hates. So like, he doesn't have anyone to let down. But what happens when the pebble is under pressure? Will he turn it into a diamond, or will he turn into dust? It's kind of like the emphasizing point at the end. Ricky's was on a whole different level, though.
Yeah, Ricky's promos have been way more heartfelt recently, and it's kind of showing you that Ricky has the range that you thought that he might, but you didn't get to see.
Yeah, he says he's been coming in doing the same work week in and week out. It wasn't just last week.
Yeah. He says he's been doing this for a long time. He don't know what you're talking about. A star is born. I'm already a star.
So, I feel like one thing that's evident with AEW, if we already didn't know it, you could kind of figure it out, is other company, everything became overly scripted, people talk the same kind of way, blah, 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 right? Tonight was another example of Ricky being Ricky. Because besides what we talked about with him and Hobbs, when they would drop certain lines that made it feel more like street trash talk and stuff like that, as opposed to your normal TV kind of trash talk.
Yeah.
Ricky's like, he's the coldest MFer. He's the most stylish MFer.
Yeah. And then it's just like, that's the thing is with these two promos, it felt like MJF said a whole lot more, but what Ricky said stuck out more because I feel like he's more used to having a short segment, so he knew exactly what to do with it.
I feel like little things like this just really help showcase like the boldness of his personality pretty well. Versus MJF, we've had years to digest him, and we know what MJF is at this point. There's still, I hate to say it, start making performances. Ricky's still getting his entire personality out there.
Yeah, he is. And I don't know, I'm happy we're seeing it now. I'm really happy we're seeing it now because he made this Dynamite felt like Like the main event to this Dynamite felt like it could be a pay-per-view main event.
It's weird because the beginning of this match felt like it was like 1997 WCW Nitro with MJF in control, especially. Like, he was doing some of the most old school spots, like the abdominal stretch, using the ropes as leverage stuff.
I was loving it. It took me back. It took me back. It was just like, and like you're saying, he's doing the old school heel stuff. It was just, I'm gonna do this hold, and then I'm gonna taunt the crowd. I'm gonna do this quick hold that's not legal. I'm gonna taunt the crowd again. Like, I was loving it.
He did his little strut after he walked over Ricky trying to trip him up.
Yeah. Yeah, we love that. I love it.
It does really, like, a lot of that beginning part of the match especially just felt like straight out of like the mid-90s.
Yeah, it was just, the nostalgia feeling behind that, because wrestling today, it's a whole lot more complex, and you forget about how simple wrestling was.
And when you can get those matches that you get really invested in that don't move a million miles an hour, like, silly example, but it's one that works off the top of my head. Ishii versus Jericho, the slap fight.
Yeah,
there was barely any moves done in that match.
Yeah, it was mostly just making each other's chests raw, and we liked it.
So I'm not saying they slowed it down, but like, yeah, you don't have to go a million miles a minute all the time. And this one, they really built throughout the match, because it picked up. It definitely picked up.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, there was a few different spots in here that I liked. Of course, the Strike Fest. Because with these two, it couldn't be like a normal Strike Fest. It started out as the hockey fight Strike Fest, but then it was I'm gonna one up your hit. Oh, I'm gonna one up you into spear.
Yeah.
For the final one up on that.
I mean, like, Ricky did a couple of shoulder tackles where it really looked like he had to throw everything he could into it, and it looked good. But he talked about him hitting a spear. He eventually, well, that was after his arm was all fucked up, right?
Yes. Yeah, that was later in the match, but that was just my favorite spot in the match. Other than my hit of the night.
Because honestly, that is literally my next note, is when he hit the spear, but he was slow to make the cover. Like, the ref got to the count of 9 and neither guy had got up yet.
Yeah, and then he just goes for the cover. That was damn good there.
It was that one arm cover which left it loose and open, and MJF was able to kick out and put him right into the armbar.
And say MJF was just playing possum. Counters the cover right into an armbar.
There was part of this armbar I thought was really well. MJF, kind of like when he first came back, when Ricky was reaching for the ropes, he grabbed that second arm and pulled it back behind him as well. So he had both arms. Ricky went to do it with his leg. He captured that too. It took him a little bit of timing to get that third one, because he definitely could have got his leg on the ropes, but eventually with his last foot, Ricky's able to get his foot on the ropes to break the hold.
Yeah, that was really cool too. Like, he's holding 3 of his limbs. He's got to make that hit the rope break with the last leg. He's on his last leg.
So,
and he makes it.
There's not a ton left, and you said you're hitting nights in this?
Yeah, because I forgot about it.
Go ahead
I
and
forgot about Hidden Knight, so I'm just throwing it in this match because the powerbomb knee backbreaker that MJF used in this match was pretty cool.
yeah, that was one of the new things I hadn't really seen since until he came
Yeah,
back. And every
yeah,
time he hits it, I'm always like,
yeah. I like it.
oh,
I'm like, all right, MJF, you're doing moves and stuff, even though you claim that you don't wrestle.
he like that's
Or
just
well, he doesn't put on good matches and stuff.
he
He's
doesn't
like,
care
yeah, I don't
about
have to
five
put on. I
stars.
don't care about putting on a good match.
Yeah,
But
just his job to win.
Here he is. Yeah, pulling out some wrestling moves and stuff.
And I like it because that's not something I don't know if I've ever really seen anyone do that, at least on a regular basis. So I do like having some kind of. There should be certain moves that people don't replicate. Like we already see enough super kicks. We already see enough DDTs now.
Yeah, there's a million cutters. Good God.
Hmm. So that's actually the one that when I first started diving into like Ring of Honor as AEW was about to become a thing, the color was the one that made me mad. I was like, super kicks, you know what? Cool, whatever. Striking's becoming more prevalent.
Yeah.
But the cutters being everywhere devalue one of my favorite moves. Why don't you?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like the cutter being as overly used as it is.
How are we supposed to know who it's supposed to finish people for and not finish people for?
I just assume it's basically like a punch now. Or no, like sorry, it's like an elbow strike because punches are still rare.
But after that, there's a little bit of a counter fest. Like they do roll up counters, the bridging out of pins counters. Uh, I don't know what exactly they were attempting to do because there's a power bomb type maneuver that maybe was supposed to be Hurricane Rana that ended up being a pretty nice power bomb by Ricky Starks. But in the end, he's going for the Rochambeau. Ref is able to slide out from behind, or MJF is able to slide out from behind, hide behind the ref, and when Ricky tries to get the ref out of the way, kick right to the dick.
Yeah, he kicked him in his penis. You know what he did? He kicked him in the penis.
And then roll up win to end AEW Dynamite. Winter is coming.
See,
Except that's not the end.
I thought Ricky was immune to this by now after MJF straight dick punched him last week.
You know, maybe wear a cup or something.
Yeah. I mean, but MJF straight dick punched him last week and he just speared him about it and held his belt while holding his balls. Like, I was like, you could do that in the match too, man.
Hey, most people kick harder than they punch.
True.
Significantly harder for a lot. I would say probably the average person.
True. True. And MJF kind of looks like he's been on roids lately, so, you know.
And you can get all that underneath too. That's not gonna feel good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, true. True.
The devil himself tries to, you know, leave and he's walking up the ramp. Danielson's music hits. He chases him all the way into the crowd before Danielson gets back in the ring and helps up Starks. And that is how the show ends, with nice cheers for Ricky Starks as he's being helped up by Danielson.
Yeah. Then he whispers something to him. I don't know if it was like, yeah, MJF's a dick. I know, man.
How's your dick, dude?
Or yeah, he's like, is your dick okay?